So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls watching from all around the world. This is our exclusive Gyanberry podcast that we have currently started out with, venturing out, testing new options, and we have our special guest here today. So, he'll be introducing himself, telling us about his experience, his study life, how he got through with his old applications, everything with Gyanberry. Go ahead, Khoiam.
Well, hi guys. My name's Khoiam, but people call me Khoiam, and soon Dr. Khoiam. So, I'm Stu. So, I came across Masaryk University as a whole maybe 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago. Okay. And honestly speaking, I didn't know much about Czech Republic. Didn't know Czech Republic existed.
Understandable, yeah.
8 years ago or something, because you know how it is. We just in UK, US, and that's it. That's all. I have doctor, engineer, UK, US. That's it. It's really, yes, I think I'm very lucky. My goals align the plot end.
And but most Asian parents are like, you have to become a doctor or an engineer. So nowadays it's more like lawyer, like you have other things in the bike.
Yeah, but you thankfully so my brother's an engineer. so it's either doctor or engineer, but thankfully our goals aligned and they never forced us, but it's just our goals aligned, maybe they subconsciously played with us or something. I don't know. But it worked out. And so I came across Masaryk University. I saw the university and just fell in love, And at that time, in first year, there was a girl who came in. I don't remember her name, but she came in. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm sorry. But she came in and she talked about Masaryk University. It's such passion, and I was like, wow, this is a good university, And I applied to Hungary, a university in Hungary. So
Were you always set on Masaryk?
No, that's it. I was set on another university, and I really wanted to go, but I couldn't because of 0.75 points, which is like 3 marks, but 0.75 points. So yeah, and then I was devastated. I was like, yo, I'm done now. I probably am not smart enough to move on. And then that second option was Masaryk, and I was just like, man, let me just try Masaryk because the portion is really similar. Let me just try it, and
Yeah. So before we go ahead with all Masaryk and how his life was at Masaryk and all that, tell us a little bit more about your childhood. Like, how was your bringing up? How was your school life? What subjects you used to like? What hobbies you sort of like?
Okay.
And how did you end up studying this?
So growing up, I grew up in Dubai in a middle class family, and I lived in Russia there.
Okay.
So first I lived in Al-Barat and then Russia, so you can see how.
Okay. So your family, everyone, they're Dubai natives?
Just my family. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. So, but where are they originally from?
Bangladesh.
Oh, okay, Bangladesh. What part of Bangladesh? Chittagong?
Oh, I'm impressed. Yeah,
I mean, it's close by.
Yeah, so that was my childhood. It was really fun. No tension, and it's to play doctor about that.
Here I understood. Yeah, same. My dad wanted me to become a doctor, but at the same time, I had other plans in mind, and thankful that I'm currently with Gyanberry. But yeah, interviewing soon to be doctor.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, childhood was pretty fun, man, and it was pretty basic. And okay, as my school life was pretty basic. I wasn't never the high achiever. I was just in between 70-80%, 70-60, or that's good.
70-80 is good, man.
Because my parents push me.
But Asian parents will
always say exactly had good sense. But to be fair, I was in A level, like in a British grade, so it's much easier for us. I don't know if you're in the Indian school.
I was CBSE. Yeah, exactly. I'm aware of other curriculums because of the Indian training I've received at Gyanberry.
So I think you guys are much tough for you guys, but for CDC students, but I think it's unnecessarily tough. Like no calculator, no, it's just, I don't think they're training you for future. You know what I mean?
Then in my opinion, for the school, in the school, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They don't teach you about the more important things like financial literacy. They don't teach you about how to, perform in an interview and things like that. All that. No, say for me. That's why I'm saying. Because after that is when during the college time and right before you enter the corporate world or as a further studies, that's when you actually get geared up for it. That's it. Yeah. So tell us what all subjects were you sort of enrolled in your school, B levels or whatever.
A levels is biology, physics, chemistry. I wanted to take psychology, but my friend saved me. And it was like, nah, man, take physics. It's gonna be useful in the entrance exam because
Yeah.
So biology, physics, chemistry, A level. I did AS and A2, so it's 12 and 13.
Yeah. 13, 11 years.
So 12 and 13, and I did, it's pretty good. And one advice is I would just talk my
Go ahead.
or else I'll forget AS and A2. Like my one big mistake I made was not applying during AS. During AS.
But so is that something students need to keep in mind undergoing that?
100%. I think if you have the financial capability of doing that, I think you should. Because if you and the entrance exam, people are like, oh my god! Like at my time, it was 700 dirhams for like all exams.
For an entrance exam?
For all three safety. So I told my colleagues then I was like 750, and then let's go to 750 so much, and then they're out drinking 600 dirhams. So it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes that you can't invest in your future. So 700 dirhams or whatever, and this is one of them. I would say apply it, and first of all, track your mind. I want to go into this university. Okay, always keep a backup, and then apply to the university. Go on AS. Okay, you can go after your AS. You have the basic knowledge. You might just pass.
Oh, yeah.
So and you have the Gyanberry's teaching and everything, and so counseling. And if you study from the question list, it doesn't matter. So a lot of things from. I'm sorry, I'm just telling, but this is important.
Yeah, it's just important for the students while they're applying, right? So tell us actually like how do you come across Gyanberry, or was there a career fair in your school where you met our representatives and then they helped you with your application, and what was that?
No. I thought about it, and like I said, I was always a mediocre student. I was like a 70%, 80%, but there was like 90%. I was like, man, these people are very 90%. How do I get ahead of them? I really thought about it. I was like, study wise, I can't. These people are crazy. Pictures in the bathroom and stuff, and I'm like, just relax, man. So I was like, how do I get ahead of them? And I was like, okay, so I have to start thinking about university, because no matter how much rain I get, all depends on university.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Why do we get our school grades? To get into university, to get into a good college, right? Sounds like you 100% have to think about. Then I started eventually, and then I started Googling, and started finding, Dubai, Masaryk University, whatever, and I searched, and then Gyanberry came up. Another organization, if I'm allowed to name it.
Yeah, you can.
Mr. Kadri, for watching. So Kadri came up and all these, and I went to these places, and Mr. Desh was there. And like I had two conversations, one with Mr. Kadri, one with Pages. I was like, wow, man, it's like, day and night conversations. He was so well spoken and so kind. So I was like, okay, we have to meet up. And then he told me, me and my friend, I still remember, we came to his office, and he told us everything about how the university, the fee structure, everything. And I remember going to a bar, so I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This university seems really good. This situation here. So then I told about it, but it was very late for me. It was in 13. You know what I mean? After 13, and it was like 18 to okay. So I was really, it was the crisis for me. I was doing SATs, I was doing A-levels on repeat, I was doing everything. Was just.
And were you getting offers also from university?
But here, in the university here, I was, yeah. Oh, I even wrote a business school entrance exam. I thought they were less students in our school. The teacher was like, come on, sit down. I was like, okay.
And probably if you had gone the business route, they were this. But yeah.
So yeah, like we just, I came across by Google. I searched it myself, and I'm okay. But yeah, again, I just would like to tell again that if you can apply after a yes, do try to apply, and then you can pay the fees and book your seats. I imagine having your seat already before going to biology. Yeah, 13.
Future student, keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Yeah, that'll help you a lot. You already have a seat before going into your A-level exam, which is just amazing. Yeah. And you know what? Worst case scenario, you fail in AS, you have an experience. Yeah. You know how that test structure is. You know how sitting in that seat in that exam hall, you will know. You're like, okay, now I know. I've been through this again. So when you're in 13th, I'm 15th, you're gonna be at big up on that. Try and go after years. Started learning after 11th and
Yeah.
yeah.
And at the same time, could you tell us, like, while applying, were there any issues that you faced or something like that over the university? Were you anxious waiting for the offer letters or something like that? Or especially your parents might be, anxious, right? Waiting for the offer letter. Oh, will it come? Will it not come? What are the backup options?
I think you can ask Mr. Tejas. My mom drives him crazy. About him like 500 times and was like, he was so kind. Was like, oh, it's okay to read it. So I applied in April. Okay, so it was pretty late already. And then I got my results in early May, end of April, something like that. And I got that admission letter, everything was okay, but the visa is a really big issue, right? And thankfully, I went to Gyanberry. And Gyanberry, I really think that, helps. I really think it helps. Honest opinion. Like, there's so many students who just went by themselves and they got rejected, either some police document or something. But I see like someone who's been looking over students for so many years, Gyanberry, so many years. They look through your documents to see, oh, this is not okay, they're going to reject this, and then you can go back and everything. Like, my police certificate was not an official one, apparently. Okay. So there's different, you guys know this, I don't remember right now, but there's like official one, non-official one, there's a printed one, there's something with the computer, I don't remember right now, but my one was not official, and someone actually got rejected because of that. But thankfully Gyanberry was like, this is not, so then I had enough time.
So how long did it take for your whole student visa to get approved and processed and all that?
My one was, like, I was the third most late person to go.
Okay, so you were towards the end of
Yeah.
the whole application.
Like August something got August something, like
So it was and you were cutting close.
Yeah, on December. There's two other students, but our university at Masaryk, and I don't know about Charles, but Masaryk was really patient, was really like if worst case scenario visa gets cancelled for some reason, it gets cancelled, you can keep the fees with them and they will save
They'll save your seat.
They'll save your seat, and next year you can come back. That's the one. Number two, then give you extension. There's enrollment date. There will be like a strict enrollment date. Please come on 13. But then if you tell them that I had visa issues, then okay, you can come after a week, for 2 weeks. By that 90% of the time, 95% of the time you get it for points in that way. Then like you have someone accountable for it.
Yes. So that's the Gyanberry. We don't even have seat of approval because we cover everything. We help students out and we're still helping students out. And that's what we are always dedicated to do. So yeah, so you have talked about your application, you have talked about your childhood, you have talked about Gyanberry. So tell us a little bit more about Masaryk in Czech Republic.
Okay.
So how was life over there? What did you do when you first stepped foot into Czech Republic? And were you feeling homesick? Were you feeling, did you have any emotional cases? Did you have any sort of issues over there dealing with other students, foreign students? I know that there are a lot of foreign students coming there. Yeah, so that is
that's definitely a change of environment, especially for someone who's been in the same school for 15 years. I have never moved from my school. I've never from the KG1 all the way to 13th, all in the same school. And so from same school to another country, another university, it was very nerve-wracking to say. And I was very self-conscious of that.
Yeah, what is even there?
I still remember the first day I went in and the enrollment day, they check the passport and everything, and they just like write down something, and they say they're like, Khoiam, Islam. Did you have an issue probably in this country? What do we get it? So in my and the seat because Miss Hannah, but she's very nice. Anyways, so I have never faced racism there. Only in Vietnam.
Okay.
And
how are the people like?
No, they're not racist at all. They're really nice people. They're really they mind their own business. Yeah, they don't do small talk.
And reserved people.
Yeah, they don't do small talk. Dobry then is like hi. We have the Dobry then.
Okay.
They don't like small talk, but they keep to themselves, and it's really good. So I would definitely. And so you asked about the first time I went. It was 2019.
Okay.
Pretty big cute.
So this was before COVID, right?
Yeah, before COVID. Yeah, thankful. So I gave the engine to the harvest. So how? Unlike the 20. So I go in. I stay in a dorm first 2 years. My dad was like going stay in a dorm, but it's honest. It's just both has bro. He's like. Of course, it depends so much on your luck. Well, you get as a result.
So how many people were in the same dorm with you?
So with me, there's just one person. Okay, but so in fact, it depends on which dorm you're taking. There's three main dorms: Binaska, Konitsova, and Comoros. So So I was in Konitsova, but I'd say Binaska is the best one. But they know what I'm talking about. Housing. So Konitsova is where I stayed, and the bathrooms were sharing like 2 rooms at the same bathroom. If that makes sense. Yeah, the 2 rooms, 2 people here, 2 people there, and they share the same bathroom. And it was really good. The first year was good, second year was good, and then as I was about to enter 3rd year, then it was just horrible because again, I told you, it depends on the roommate. Yeah, and like our first roommate was so nice, second roommate and third roommate was just.
So how do roommates change? Like, will they drop out?
No, because it's every year, exactly. Yeah, they change accommodation. There is Erasmus to put them in for a while, go away, and it keeps changing in kind of Slovakia. So especially in COVID, staying with the same person and under the same roof, it gets a bit annoying, And the person has to be a bit understanding. So if you know someone, it's okay. But you don't know this person, and it was just very uncomfortable here.
I mean, your place, you said exactly. And like he mentioned, he's lived all his life in Dubai. He's from grade, KG till 12, 13, whatever it is. So yeah. And at the same time, how was it going forward? How were you able to make new friends? How was the whole, social life at Czech Republic, whatever? Did you get to experience new things? How was it like? How was party day, clubbing, and new things, a lot of new things.
I find it a bit difficult to find new friends because I don't club, I don't drink, I don't smoke, nothing.
Yeah, that is
so. I kind of find it difficult at first, but of course there are, and you don't get much time, in my opinion. With the time management, you can I've seen people party and drinking and whatnot, and the manners, they have good, but I am more isolated, isolate myself more. But now I'm trying to get out of that. But when friends is a very touchy topic because as you enter first year, within like 40 friends in 1 year, and this is not just me, it's everyone tells me about this, right? Whoever's in 3rd year, you can ask anyone. First year, going year 4 to 15, you're even mad, you know what I mean? And when you, hey, what's up?
It was the same for me as well. When my college life started, like first year, everyone wants to be your friend. And
that's the case for sure. You're right. But for us, it's the case like people just drop out. Here, that's what I left friends. Second year, I had like 10 friends, And then 3rd year is like,
you mean 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was when COVID and everything.
And that's when you have anatomy. Now, anatomy, that's the killer, that's what gets everyone here. So 2nd year is when you have your first attempt, and I went to my 4th attempt. Or anatomy, okay, right? And it was really tough for me, anatomy, but if I would have just focused on having it, at so that's the case. But
so anatomy, as in they make you practice on cadavers?
Yeah, they do everything. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go to Italy. Because in Italy, they don't do that on cadavers. No, they're not. It's not ethical. Let's say ethical. Okay.
And at the same time, so how is it like, sort of venturing out and getting used to living life at Czech Republic? I just want to have a broader picture of how students will experience life over there.
So I would say first year, just like for me, I was like very open. I was like social. I was like, I was wasting time. There's a place called MedFac.
Okay.
In MedFac. So it's medical faculty. And it's a library which is open 24 hours. Right. It was one night have 24. Now it's closed for 2 hours for cleaning and stuff. For 24 hours it's open. We can go there, people sleep there, study there, they spend their lives there basically. And I was one of them. I was there, but it depends. I don't have any self-control.
Okay.
If you start talking to me, I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't have any self-control. So it's a really bad place for me. But for people who are determined and stuff, I have to study and stuff, and they can say no, I have to sit. I think perfect place for them, But MedFac. So MedFest, that's the place. That's the how.
Yeah, even I've heard my dad always say that library is the best place to spend most of your college life because you learn a lot of things, especially with them.
For sure,
you learn a lot of things because mostly during class hours and all that, you tend to drift away and things like that. So library is where you feel at home. Then you have your own privacy.
Exactly.
And it's just calm and such a beautiful place.
Yeah. There's a campus library. I don't know if you've seen the picture.
Yeah, but there I've seen a few pictures.
There's two. There's a medtech where I was talking, but that's open 24. But the one which is campus library, that's open to like 8, and it's pretty beautiful. Best library I've ever seen. I have been to like hundreds of countries. I've been so many. I've been to every country. Called like, what is it there? I'm gonna just go through my notes and stuff. But I would say this is my favorite, not because it's my university or something, but it's honestly, it's just beautiful. Just
Above here. And at the same time, I was just wondering, like, how is it like, did you sort of have a dating life or something like that? How are you able to maintain relationships with other friends?
and unfortunately not.
Okay, so because he mentioned he was introverted, right? Yeah, and even I'm introverted to an extent. Everything, we had our fun during our college life, but then it gets serious. It like hits you, right? Because you're almost finishing college. Yeah, you will have to do your internships, start specializing. And yeah. Also, I wanted to ask you about the different. So, did you feel homesick when you were there?
100% on, yeah. Because like I said, I felt out of place. Especially because I isolated myself. The first year, everyone was like having fun stuff. I was like, hi, buddy, don't even stay. Second year, sorry. First year, I was pretty having fun to start being, and then it hit me, hard. So I'd say first year, just try to keep up with your studies as well. That's the one. And okay, we'll go to second attempt. Oh, people do it in third attempt. It's okay. That was my first year. Second year, I was pretty very isolated. Like I was not seeing anywhere. I was just like own study, keeping trying my best. And I think that's one of the reasons I need it. That one point, like I know people say a lot that it's about balance, but I don't think it's about balance. In my opinion, I don't know
work-life balance.
I think there should be, like, you should know where you're deteriorating your mental health. That's it. 100% you should know that if you at this point, this is not healthy. But it's not balance. It should be more towards that.
Yeah. Exactly. And did you have like any personal cases where you got really emotional, where you couldn't really comprehend the situation, be it with academics, be it with feeling homesick, or
100%. Yeah. So nothing, you know what you should do? You should bring the first year student, not the first year, the people who want to apply. If they're ever in Czech Republic, you should bring them into the dissection hall. And then you'll see, like, just before the dissection is out, you'll see the quiet people are here, people are there, people are like, like, literally, it's like a psychiatric department, it's horrible. Like, people are screening, people are like, oh, please bring the pass. It was just like, sounds great. It's a thing to see, and so I think I had to myself pretty cool for it. But to myself, like, and I felt really lonely. On first year, I felt really lonely. I didn't have, like, the second year, when I isolated myself, I felt really lonely. I thought about my parents a lot, about my siblings.
And how often did you used to visit them?
So first year, I was back 6 months, and then again, and somehow, and that's why I didn't get my item exams. I don't want to go back home, 3 weeks vacation. Yeah, have fun, and, I'm paying a lot for that. Pay back.
And as it progressed, like during your second year or third year, so the whole parents thing, sort of reduced, right? Because so then you was going back and more immersed in your reality, and so on. So yeah, that's understandable because most students are like that. You could say that I kind of miss my parents during my first year, but it was just that they live around 30, 40 kilometers away from where I used to.
Where?
So I went back in India, in Bangalore.
But that's like the perfect, you're not too far away. Yeah, not too far away, not too far. This is perfect, but I didn't have an option. Even if I wanted to see them,
like different continent.
Yeah, and especially after COVID, that's when I was second year. I wasn't much journey.
Did you happen to catch a case of COVID?
No.
Okay, so probably it's very safe. On the rules, everything.
Yeah, very, 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 very strict rules, and they were one of the first people to take action. Hey, we're switching on the university, switch to because it was a new thing, right? Yeah, you know what it is? Like, university is impossible. So we're happy taking exams on.
Now everything is online. Like, everything can be done online if you put your mind to it. Or even when it comes to work-related aspects, everything is now completely online and remote-based apps and options.
So stay to it so fast, staying to e-learning. I was impressed. I was like, wow. Like, fourth most day, like, we were switching over cutting off the university, you're on holiday, from the switch to end up in 40. Okay. I don't think any university has done that. 4 days. And they were just like, okay, we have e-learning, we have teams down, we have everything. So, wow.
So one more aspect I'd like to touch on is that how was the climate like over there? Because moving from a tropical place to a winter-based cold area, how was the whole shift? Because everything changes, right? Starting from how your skin reacts to it, and moving on to your dressing style, moving on to everything. Yeah, everything. And how was that like?
As a Dubai kid,
Yeah.
you would admit that we always were waiting for winter to wear our jacket, to wear so it's like so I always wanted to go to a colder country, yeah, for sure. So I went there, I was like, wow, this is amazing, And the first, this is the second time I saw snow. I was really young, but then now it's the second time I saw snow when I was 18. I said, wow, man, that's just beautiful. It was beautiful. Like, it was so much fun. The weather is amazing there. I would say I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Any final thoughts or final points that you'd like to share with future students or something? And takeaways, whatever you'd like to share. So, applied Gyanberry. It was, OneApply by Gyanberry.
I would say, like the first thing I said, apply after 12th if you can. He starts studying from 11th if you can. Know that which university you want to go into. Know that, okay.
But it's good to have off.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, because if you start studying from 11th, if you start knowing that, okay, this is what I want to do, this will keep you like far ahead of other students. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even people, I know students who have gotten 3 A stars, but 2 years they were at home, no planning. 3 A stars. Oh, and there was not at home. Why no planning? No plan.
So that's why reach out to us. When you had your plan, and do everything it all after you did.
Then should have been. Honestly, like jokes apart, honestly. And I would say keep studying and just make sure that, just know that if it doesn't work out, it's eventually going to work out.
Yeah, it's eventually going to work out. And another thing to keep in mind is that never give up unless you're forced to give up.
Exactly.
So that's another
once that I've then at 12th, I did that so proud.
So this is something which no one passed on to me. It's just my own mantra.
One last thing I like to say about the snowball effect. You know what that is? Yeah. So the snowball effect in our universities, specifically in Czech Republic University, is that if you don't pass your, like I did, I was a prime example of snowball effect. So I did pass my ASME because I was like, oh, it's okay, I'll just do it in second year. You're not a year behind if you don't do anatomy in the summer. But I was going to go back for 3 months of vacation, and I'm gonna, in my opinion, you should always finish your exam, even if you don't have a holiday. As much as you miss your fairs, finish your exams before coming back.
The student finished in class.
Of course, if you have some small exam like Czech or something, it's okay, but keep large exams, finish them before, because you're not going to study it. You're not. Your friend's going to call you, your mom's going to call you, to make a project. There's stuff like that. So, like, just finish it.
Do you guys have like online exams, or was it all
in COVID? I just did it.
COVID. Okay, and how was that like?
Where it was really good, really strict, and they make sure, copy the learning software and something you can't
really mess around how there.
So this snowball effect is when so for the people that don't know what snowball effect is, it's like when you're carrying a subject and then you have new subjects, and then it piles up.
Yeah, it piles up.
It's like that's what's called snowball effect. And I was like a prime example. So I had that to me at biochem based on his set. I was like, yo, what's going on?
So it's wise to hear is something 100%.
And if you can't, but you have to try your best to finish. So that's what I did, and whatever it takes, finish it before coming here, in my opinion. Many people do come here and study somehow, I don't know how, but in my opinion, finish it before come, for sure. That's the last mistake.
We have had a conversation with Khoiam. Hopefully, it helps students in the future trying to apply to medicine-based or Masaryk or whatever it may be. We have had a very delightful conversation, speaking about he's been sharing his experiences on how his student life was, how it was applying with Gyanberry, and so on and so forth. How the climate was, completely contrasting between Dubai and Czech Republic and so on. And how was the faculty like? I forgot to ask you. Like at Masaryk, how was the faculty? Were they like able to help you with everything? And
100%, yeah, especially the international office, Susanna, Pete, and other like Ms. Helena and other Markeda. These people, they're so nice, very nice people. They speak perfect English. You can call them. You can even call them. That's a wonderful thing, because they just told you email. You can call them, and they're like, okay, which was I'm very happy. And I tell them, And then my was just, oh, they all had Khoiam. Okay, what do you want? And then I was like, I have this issue, I have that issue, I have visa issue, I have this issue. They're like, more.
The little mob of Facebook.
Yeah, I thought they did this so nice. Like, I don't mean to insult you.
They say things so they get you fired though.
No, like, they don't act like your mom, but if you have any issue, they're very well,
Personal issues, anything you can treat.
yeah, they're not personal issues, but not pretty bad issues. But like, yeah, like if you're having any trouble, anything, if you're having pain with classes are not working out, my visa is not working out, my class is not working out, anything at all, I want to take a transfer, anything at all, you can go to them. They talk in perfect English, so well spoken, it's softly spoken, never scream at you, never get annoyed at you, and can ask them the same question.
That's great because that just provides more reassurance to the student itself because they're in a new place, new country, everything's new to them. And yeah, hopefully, make their whole college life or university life a more fruitful environment and so on. So before we end, I would just like to ask, for students applying through Gyanberry, OneApply, what are the things that they need to keep in mind to have a successful application process?
Like I said, know which university only get into and start studying, but earlier, 11th, 12th, start researching, start finding out if this is, we really want to go to medicine. And for medicine, I can only speak for medicine, I don't know about,
Yeah.
So for medicine, I say, if you can't imagine doing anything else, only then to medicine.
Yeah, and you had counseling sessions, right?
Yeah. And they told me that it's okay, don't rely on your grades. Don't be okay, I have an A-star, I'll be quiet, man. Don't rely on your grades.
Who do you speak to? Like, I tell you,
But there's like 3 of you. Like that, there was like 2. Now they're like, right.
Yeah, now we are from a small family, they moved on to extended family.
It's like this teenager man. It's there. It's like student man, just with the shirt that is the dad covered and everything to sit down and the tight towel and God, yeah, super videos. I had a big fan like this. Yeah, 100%. But even then, it was very professional, very nice to us. It was just 2 kids coming in, my 2 18-year-olds. Oh, what to do? And the chief like, oh, Faye, why don't you try this one? It matters and everything. Very nice, very well spoken. So, keep this in mind. I would really recommend going to Gyanberry for the visa processes, because you have someone accountable, someone to talk. Hey, I'm going to be like that. I have this issue. And it can be frustrating, no, but just try to keep patience and try not to take it out of anger on that. Your emotions on them, because they're really overworked in my opinion, and they have salaries to pay as well. So you guys have to know that, because many parents complain that, why are you guys taking money? And they have to take money. So I understand, I'm from middle class as well. So even if someone is going to complain, but try to go.
Yeah, no worries. So we've spoken about everything. Hope this video message, conversation finds you in a useful situation. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next time with another student. Thank you so much, Paul. Of course, yes, it was a pleasure talking with you. And yeah, kudos, Godspeed. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.